two of us. It's a podcast with my friend, just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Anna.
And we're just the two of us.
Welcome to our podcast.
Episode 5.
Whoa.
That went quick.
That went very quick. I just headbutted my microphone. Kind of. Chin butted.
This week we're going to be talking a little bit about the COVID lockdowns and our experience with that, because I was stuck in Australia during COVID. I got here literally right before the lockdown started.
Oh, yeah. Just in
And
time.
you were in Hungary.
Just in time for the lockdown.
And all my family was in England.
Yeah. I was in Hungary, yes. And it wasn't as bad there as it was here.
Yeah. Well, I don't think COVID itself was bad here. Just the lockdowns.
Yeah. Australian people took it very serious. But before all that, do you not have something for us?
I do. I have a fun fact for you this morning, evening, whenever you're listening to this. In the year of 2020,
Yes.
banana bread was the most searched recipe.
So many questions. Like, why?
Because of COVID.
But why?
Well, everyone was learning to bake, and so banana bread is a really good starting point, a really easy place to start.
I guess.
And also bananas were one of the few things that we weren't running out of.
Toilet paper bread?
Toilet paper bread? No.
Yeah, sorry, that was random. Anyway, I don't think I've ever baked. Like, I love baking, but I don't think I've ever baked banana bread before.
I have. And in 2020, I specifically remember baking vegan banana bread.
Wow, was it good?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
You have the recipe?
Somewhere in the archives, I will have the recipe.
Maybe you can leave it with the followers. If it was a good vegan
It was good.
banana bread.
And we lived with a vegan, so
Oh, yes. Can
I
I
made
name
it.
drop? It's
Yeah,
Tenzin.
it's Tenzin. Hi, Tenzin.
Hi, Tenzin.
Tenzin's probably not listening.
Well, he
But
should.
that's okay.
He should.
It wasn't the most Google searched thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, during COVID, lots was Google searched, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, banana bread was the most commonly searched recipe, which I find really interesting
Oh,
because it is
interesting,
such a, not to diss banana bread, but it's a very boring dessert.
Yeah, banana bread is not... No, that was still weird. Banana bread...
Try again.
Banana.
Banana. Place your organic bananas.
Banana. I can't... We just discovered I can't pronounce banana.
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 It's like you're saying banana
Banana.
instead of banana.
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 Ba-
It's na.
Na. I know that one.
Yeah.
Banana.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
What were you going to say? Do you remember?
Yeah. I don't think banana bread is a big thing in Hungary. Like, I don't think I've ever tried banana bread.
Really?
Yeah.
Not ever.
No.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Now that is wild.
Banana.
Yeah, that's the fun fact.
So tell us about lockdown in Melbourne.
Yeah, sure. Very quickly, just a trigger warning, we are going to be talking about the COVID lockdowns, and if that is a topic that is particularly sensitive for you, this might be an episode that you maybe want to skip. I know it's not that serious, but a lot of people lost loved ones during that time. I was very lucky not to lose anyone during COVID, not too directly to COVID at least. But I know a lot of people did. So condolences to you if that was you. And if you want to skip this episode, that is so fine. The lockdowns in Australia were absolutely wild. I will tell you, I have the dates here.
But it's not Australia, it's just like specifically just Melbourne, isn't
Specifically Victoria.
it? Yeah.
And
Victoria.
Melbourne specifically, because regional Vic didn't have the same restrictions as us.
Yeah.
So I have a list. I have screenshots here. I'm going to go through each one with you. So our very first lockdown was on March 30th. I got here Feb 5th.
Okay, yeah.
So barely 2 months, because February is short anyway.
And you were going to leave after 3 months?
I was meant to leave in April. So the first lockdown hit, my flights home got cancelled.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah, I was meant to do February, March, April. End of April, I was going home.
Oh, yeah.
And March 30th, lockdown happened. Flights got cancelled. I got a full refund. Like, that was it. I just got sent the money and I was like, well, guess that's my flight. March 30th to May 12th, 43 days was the first lockdown.
Oh.
And that was full restrictions. So the restrictions were eased slightly on May 12th and then eased further on the 1st of June. So during that time, you were in full stay-at-home orders. So stay at home if you can. So it didn't constitute a lockdown. So from May 12th, we were open again. And in that time, you were allowed 1 hour of exercise per day. You were allowed to go to the shops, and that was it.
Do you remember this, or is it written on this?
No, I remember this.
Okay. Wow.
You were allowed, it might have been 2 hours of exercise a day. Maybe it was 1 outside.
Outside.
But gyms were closed.
Mm.
All public spaces were closed. The only places that were open were your supermarkets, your shops, but like retail was shut. Our second lockdown hit on July 8th. So May 12th until July 8th, we were a little bit normal, staying at home. I was still working from home in that time. I was working in a dance studio at the time, so the studio did not reopen.
Oh, yeah.
The second lockdown went for 111 days.
Wait, hang on. Did they close down because of COVID?
Mm.
Oh, that sucks.
We never recovered.
Yikes.
So lockdown 2 went for 111 days. It ran from July 8th until October 27th. So we spent the whole winter lockdown.
Inside in the warmth.
Inside in the warm. With seasonal depression.
Just sprinkle.
Our third lockdown was a really short one. It struck right before Valentine's Day, and I remember this one. It was only 5 days, February 12th to Feb 17th, because we'd gone a bunch of days with no COVID cases, and then all of a sudden, like 5 COVID cases popped up.
Huh.
And I remember because we were in Rosebud on a holiday with 2 friends, and we were playing mini golf, and suddenly everyone on the mini golf course started getting phone calls. And we're looking around going, that's really weird. Look, everyone's on their phone. That's so strange. And then our phone rings, and it's Pat's mum. And she's like, lockdown, like midnight tonight. You guys need to come home.
Oh. So you did?
So we did. So yeah, that only went for 5 days. They nipped it in the bud, and then they opened us back up again.
Huh.
4th lockdown. So this was February. Then at the end of May, we had our 4th lockdown. So things were going really well. And then winter was hitting again, and it was always winter when it got bad. And that was from May 27th to June 10th. It was just 2 weeks of a hard lockdown. Back to those same rules. You're only allowed to go outside for a certain amount of time. You were only allowed to travel within 5 kilometers. And if you were traveling outside of 5 kilometers away from your home, or what was listed on your driver's license, and you got pulled over, you'd get fined.
How much?
I don't remember. I think it was $250. But it was quite a chunk of money.
So it's still less than a fine from PTV.
Yeah. And we went back into lockdown again that July. So we literally had a month and a half out of lockdown. And then we were back in lockdown for another 12 days. And then July 27th, we opened up, but only until August 5th. So that's what, 8 days?
Yeah.
8 days we were open. And then we went into lockdown 6, which lasted 78 days. So we were pretty much in lockdown from the May 27th until October 21st.
78 days.
So all of winter again. So
That's
it was
a long time,
the
though.
2 winters both years. Because I remember by summer it wasn't too bad. Christmas was fine. We were still allowed to see each other at Christmas. And I remember all the Christmases, and it was like COVID never happened when it was Christmas time, you know? I look back at that time and I was like, wow, it literally was like we didn't even have COVID because we were all seeing each other because it was summer. But yeah, so I was here the whole time. I wasn't allowed to leave and my parents couldn't visit. But in the UK, they were hardly having lockdowns.
Yeah.
They had a few, don't get me wrong. And I think a lot of people really suffered and a lot of businesses really suffered. I know the one I worked for did. I mean, what was COVID like in Hungary? Yeah,
I was just going to say that you'll remember so much. My brain locked out like almost the entire thing. I remember being at a curfew at one point. Like after 6, you weren't really allowed to go outside. And they encouraged us to only go out when necessary. Yeah, we did have to stop going to work at one point, so everyone had to stay home. It was like, I have no idea, but I think it was like for a few weeks tops. And then it went back to a curfew, and then just don't go out if you don't have to. Maybe it was for a month. I'm not sure.
The businesses kept running?
Most of them,
Yeah.
I think.
So like our only things that were open were doctors, like like Coles, like even Kmart was shut.
Oh no, I think a lot of places were shut in Hungary as well, and it was like supermarkets and doctors, obviously,
And liquor shops.
but not for a long time. I don't think. I remember not working. I didn't have a job through lockdown, which is also why it was good to be at home with my family and live there, because I didn't have to like pay for anything specifically. I did work somewhat, like I do freelancing on this website where I just record myself singing and then I get paid for it. So I did that, but it wasn't like a constant thing. And
No.
it was a little bit of income, I guess. But yeah, I was home for most of it and just like either asleep or gaming. That was the two things I did. I lost 10 kilos during COVID.
Whoa, that's so impressive.
Because I didn't move from my bed. So I was just... I used to have this loft area in my room, which was very cozy. I used to like just sleep there, and I had my laptop up there, which is a gaming laptop. So I literally did not come down from the loft for like days. So yeah, I lost 10 kilos, and then in a week after lockdown was over, it immediately came back because I was like, yeah, just not eating.
I gained 10 kilos in COVID.
Nice.
All I did was eat and drink.
I gave it to you.
Yeah, I took it from you. I drank so much alcohol, and I was eating constantly, and like just eating stuff you shouldn't eat. Like, I want a cookie.
Like
I'm going to make a whole batch of cookies and then eat all of them.
But yeah, I don't remember too much apart from not going out and just gaming.
Yeah.
Insane.
I gamed so much.
Insane amount of hours.
I'm so grateful that Animal Crossing came out during COVID because, oh my God, that saved me. And Stardew Valley, although that came out before COVID.
I think I just also bought my laptop like pre-COVID, like in end of 2019. So it was a brand new laptop as well. So it was just running so smoothly, and it was just so good to game on the laptop. It doesn't work anymore. It died a year ago. But yeah, I remember playing Rainbow Six Siege like for hours.
Yes, I remember the Rainbow Six Siege days.
God.
Good times. Not having to work, playing video games. I remember I would teach dance classes on Zoom in my living room. And it was horrible trying to dance on carpet. And it would be like two kids that would tune in and watch. And they'd like run away halfway through. And if the parents weren't paying attention, they don't even realize that I'm still there dancing. And I'd just be dancing to no one. And like, sure, I got paid, but I didn't get paid much. And on top of that, it was just soul destroying. Forcing myself to do these kids' ballet dances with literally no one watching.
Yeah, that is weird.
And I couldn't switch it off and turn it off.
That's so sad.
Because I was on the business, like the company Zoom account, so it would show that I'd ended the stream early. Like, it was just so hard.
It's very disheartening.
Obviously, my whole family was still in the UK, and so I was dealing with being away from home again. So like we'd just got back from Greece, and I came here 3 months later. So I'd only been back with my family after our Greece trip for 3 months, and then I'm away again all of a sudden. Don't know when I'm going to see them because I was meant to come home and then I didn't because COVID. So dealing with being away from them, being locked in, being with a family I didn't know, like it was really hard. It got better, obviously. But I remember there was one time where I was getting really upset, and I remember Pat, like, in desperation, turned to me. He was like, when is it going to get better? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know when. It might never get better. Like, I just don't know. Especially, like, we don't know how long COVID's going to last. And who could have predicted it would have lasted 2 years? Like, we were all like, I'll be over in a few months.
Yeah.
It's just a media stunt. Like, it's just like a bug that's gone a little bit viral and the internet's taken over, and like that's the power of the internet. We had no idea how bad it was. And look, COVID is still a controversial topic. There are still people that will swear that it's a conspiracy and that it didn't exist, and that's so fine. Have your opinion.
Yeah.
It was just such a time.
Yeah. I also remember we were like 1 year in, and then people started to say that like, maybe this is it. This is our life from now on. Just like
this
masks.
is it forever now.
Yeah, because it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so crazy
There
not
was
knowing.
there was definitely a time where it felt like the mask mandate was never going to end.
Yeah.
And like getting your COVID vax certificate checked to go into a restaurant, where that was never going to end.
Yeah.
You know,
And it was,
that
yeah,
doesn't happen anymore.
I think the worst part of it was just not knowing when or if it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents came out here April 2022, and they had to wear masks on the flight.
Yeah.
So they did the full like 36 hours with a mask on.
Yikes.
Yeah, like sleeping with it on, everything. And obviously then when my mum came out again, literally like not even 6 months later, she came out again in October, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months later, my mum came out in the October, and she didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
She was like, such a different experience. I much prefer the flight without a mask.
Wow. Who would have thought?
It was strange as well. When COVID started like dissipating and life started returning to normal, I then had to like figure out what normal was, because I didn't know. When I first got here, I was a visitor. By the time COVID had finished, I had a working visa. So I was looking for jobs and trying to figure out what day to day was going to be like, deciding if I was going to be a student. Like, I was like, okay, well, now I need to like stop messing around playing video games and actually figure out what I'm going to do with my life again.
Yeah.
Because when COVID happened, I feel like I just went into this state of, well, I'm just going to wait for this to be over before I do anything. I can't do anything now. Like, put everyone's lives on pause.
Yeah.
No one could make plans. I mean, some people like bought houses and had babies in COVID, but like for the people that weren't in that place, your life got paused.
Yeah. I couldn't come out here because I was planning to for at least 2 years. I think I bought my tickets before COVID started.
You did.
And then I was ready to come out.
You bought your
here.
tickets right after like I got here, I'm pretty sure.
I was ready to come out here in like 2020 in May. And then it just got, they were like, we can't do that, so we will move your flight or cancel it or whatever. I don't know. But I had to rebook it at least 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. It was so annoying because I was so keen to come because I was like, I want to see my friends again. And it just sucked being like stuck back
Limbo.
in Hungary. And it was just annoying not knowing when I'll be able to finally travel, because I would have my ticket, like my flight details and everything, and then I would get an email, it just got cancelled. And I'm like, well, and sometimes I had to chase down my money because they were like, well, yeah, we can give you your money back, but you will have to do this and this. I'm like, just give my money back. So it was just,
I remember that
stressful.
whole chaos. Like every time we caught up, it was, what's the news on your flight? Like, when's it getting updated? When are you rescheduling? Okay, cool, great. Okay, well, that one just got cancelled. All right, well, when's the next one?
Yeah, and I would just be like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was such a long-winded existence at that time.
It was so annoying. I think, I remember receiving my visa in like March before I came here. Yeah. And I got like an email, but I didn't realize I got that email for like days. So I opened this email. It was like 2 days, 2 days before. I'm like, oh, it says I have an Australian visa and I have my flight. And I think I started crying for like just a brief,
like, it's happening.
A brief few like minutes. I was like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna be in Australia. And yeah, it was just the relief that...
Did you feel super delulu when you first got here?
Yes.
It was so wild because you get here and you came from Hungary, so it's a little bit different. But I got here and all the signs were still in English and we still drove on the same side of the road and everyone kind of looked English, being real. I was like, have I literally gone on a plane for 36 hours just to land where I left?
Yeah, it was very different for me.
Very different experience for you.
Because everyone drove on the different side of the road.
Yeah.
And everything's in English and everyone's speaking English. And there's just like a lot of beaches.
But also like just to like acknowledge that you've traveled that far, it feels really weird.
I don't know how long, but at least for half a year, I was in just like this numb, like, I don't know how to describe, like you just...
Not accepting that you're here?
Yeah, and just like not realizing the reality of it, that I'm here. Because, yeah, it was crazy.
It is weird. It's a really weird feeling.
Yeah, it was just, yeah, I can't describe the feeling, but
no, it was weird.
It was almost like I didn't feel anything. Like I just kept going. I literally, not even a month later, after I got here, I already had a job.
Yeah.
And I just started working, so I just kept going, and I kept doing, like, I kept living my life.
Yeah.
And it's not like I pretended as if nothing happened, because I wasn't like pretending like it's not a big change. I think I just didn't sit down to actually like take in the fact that I am on the other side of the world, away from Hungary.
Literally me applying for residency. I like straight up just sat there, filled out the application, was like, yep, we're going to apply for residency and I'm going to move to Australia. And then I spoke to my family and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to move here. And they were all like, oh, I didn't think to like discuss that with us first. I was like, nope. I have made the decision, and my mum knows damn well once I've made a decision, she cannot stop it.
Oh, yeah, I know that as well.
I'm like a steam train.
She is.
Once I've left the station, it is too late. I will not stop.
Yep.
Unless there's like a really cute animal on the track.
Choo choo.
I might slow down.
Slow down, but not stop.
Should we do some trivia?
Ooh. I have a good one for you.
Cheeky bit of trivia. Go on. I don't even know what the topic is this week. Do I have choices or just a topic?
No, it's just one topic. It is slang terms, Australian slang terms.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I have a couple. It's not just like 4 questions. I have a lot, but I will try to like ask you 4.
We'll keep it succinct. We'll speed round. This is a speed round.
Because I have some that it might also be like English slang, so
okay.
I have like backups.
I think I know. I think I will be quite good at this, but I might be tooting my own horn.
All right. How would you say the following to an Australian person, as in? Yeah.
Okay.
This story is true. Like an Australian form of saying something is true.
This story is true.
Yeah, it's just the like something being true.
Like if I told a story and then I said the story's true.
Yeah.
Fair dinkum?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Or if you're absolutely certain, that was very Australian, certain, it is London to a brick.
Did not know that one.
Yeah, if you're absolutely certain of something, it's London to a brick. All right. Well done. I didn't know this. Like I looked it up and I'm like,
I had a thought.
Fair dinkum.
I was like fair dinkum. I was like, that kind of has a couple of meanings, but that's definitely one of them.
Say it in an Aussie accent.
Fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum. All right, next one. If your trip to Australia, for example, is a bit hectic and you only have a few days to pack everything in, you might use this expression to say you're busy.
Chockers? I don't know.
No.
No, I don't know.
I'm flat out like a lizard drinking.
Flat out like a lizard drinking?
Yes.
Excellent.
I considered saying it in an Australian accent, but I'm very bad.
Flat out like a lizard drinking.
There you go. I'm very bad, so I'm just not going to try. All right. You might know this. I don't know if it's an Australian thing or an English thing.
Okay.
It's all the same to me. No, I'm joking. What is a billy?
Is it your stuff?
No, it's I'll help. It's a household object. Like you would find this in your house.
I can only think of rude words.
No, it's a very simple and ordinary thing.
I want to say it's a boat, but that's not a household item.
No, you would find this item in your kitchen.
My thought process. I'm going to say it out loud so the listeners don't just have to sit there in silence.
Or me
is the Cockney rhyming slang, which would be. So I was thinking Billy Goat Gruff. I was like, what rhymes with gruff? And I couldn't think of anything. I was like, Billy Goat rhymes with boat, so it could have been boat.
No, you're very far away.
I'm very far away.
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
It's a teapot.
Why?
I'm not Australian.
It's definitely not English.
Okay, good. So it's
I think that's an Australian thing. I didn't know that
billy.
one. This is very disheartening. I thought I was going to be better at this.
I'm so sorry.
These are hard. Did you specifically Google hard ones?
No, it's just like Australian slang. This will be an easy one for you, I think. I hope. What would you call kindergarten in Aussie slang?
Kindy.
Yeah.
I even said it with the accent.
Kindy.
Kindy.
I can't do it. Say it again.
Kindy.
No, Kindy. I can't do it. Anyways, for extra points,
Oh.
you can say, I have like 4 more written down that they do the same thing too. Like words.
For kindergarten.
No, like for like saying kindy for kindergarten, like words that would
Oh,
do the
okay, yeah.
same.
Give me the other ones, and I'll try and say the shortened versions.
Yeah. There's lipstick.
Lippy.
Mosquito.
Aussie.
Present.
Prezi.
Yeah. And there's beverage as well, of
Bevy.
course. It's so funny. They do it with everything. You do it with everything.
I do.
Because you're Australian too.
I even say garage now instead of garage.
Oh.
And I say pasta instead of pasta.
Oh, okay. It's different.
In the UK, I say pasta, but here I say pasta.
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 That's so weird. I don't think I've ever said pasta in my life before.
Yeah, there you go.
Pasta.
Pasta.
That's how I've always said it.
Yeah, well, a British thing, I guess. I don't know.
Also, one of my favorite slang terms, I think, is a cheeky Barbie.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like,
So
anything cheeky. Like, it's just so...
But that's an English thing too, because we have
Is
cheeky
it?
Nando's.
Oh, okay. It's just, if you add cheeky to anything, it just entertains me.
Over at Cheeky Bev?
Yeah. What would you call, like, another word for someone who's very angry?
I don't know.
Like, for example, if you're late one more time this week, I'll be...
If I'm late one more time this week, I'll be... Oh, I don't know.
Spewing.
Spewing. Oh. Yeah, I don't use that word.
Yeah.
I don't use that one.
Well, it's there. Extra points again.
Okay.
What is Ripper?
Ripper, mate. Like, cool.
Yeah, like, it says fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's Ripper.
That's Ripper.
That's proper, like, bogan slang.
And what are cozies?
Swimsuits.
I didn't know that.
I said cozzy is an English thing as well.
See, that's what I.
So that's come over here. So like,
Yeah.
I would say I've got my cozzy on my swimsuit. There's loads of things, like even people say I'm gonna be Devo instead of devastated.
Oh.
Or like they would never, no one would ever say, oh, I'm devastated. But like you would say, oh, like that makes me sad, or oh, I'm upset. Nah, I'm Devo. Like,
Oh, I don't think I've ever said that or heard someone say
wow.
it.
We're actually going to talk more about Australian slang in next week's episode. It's going to be a whole episode just about it. We have some questions to answer. Our questions from 2 questions from a viewer that sent in a whole heap of stuff, which was really wonderful. This first question, what have you found the most similar between your home country and Australia? I mean, other than the language, like...
Yeah, other than
the
that,
fact
for me
that,
too.
you know, the British people were the colonizers that came over here, so everything's pretty close to English culture. I will say some of the things that are very, very similar that always make me feel like I'm at home is those, this is so random, is those like cheap Italian restaurants, those like chain restaurants, and they're exactly the same in England.
Oh.
We've got a chain restaurant in the UK called Bella Italia.
Okay.
And then over here, there's a few different ones, and they're the same. They're the same. The same basic vibe of sit in a dimly lit restaurant and order pizza. Like, and it always gives me that like, oh, I could be in England here, you know, in a dingy Italian restaurant, eating pretty badly made pizza.
I think for me it's not like an actual thing, but like certain parts of the city, when I sit on public transport and go past like a park or some streets or just like the scenery, just looks very similar to what parts of Budapest would look like. And I feel like, hey, hang on, have I been here before? But like I haven't. It just looks like Budapest, and I don't know what makes it look like it. It just feels very similar. I couldn't describe it to you why. Maybe it's because Buda is like a hilly, more park, greeny side of Budapest, and then Pest is the like block of flats and very dead, like greenery wise. But yeah, so some parts of Melbourne remind me of Buddha because of like how green
Yeah.
and sometimes hilly it
There's a lot
gets.
of beautiful green areas in
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah, and trams are not the same, but very, very close and similar to
Yeah.
what they are like.
Well, see, I feel like if I'd grown up somewhere North England, they have a lot of trams. Liverpool has trams, Sheffield has trams. Oh, Liverpool might not have trams. I may have just said the wrong thing. Anyway, there's a few cities up north that have trams, and I feel like I would find that similar coming here. But in fact, living in London, it's all tubes, underground trains,
yeah.
and we don't have that here yet in Melbourne. So it's
Yeah.
a bit not the same for me. That's like something that's quite different, and the travel is much cheaper here. The
Here,
next question.
it's so expensive here, though. I can't imagine how expensive it would be.
There's a free tram zone here.
Well,
That would never happen in the UK.
but you pay $5.50 for a train, even if you just take 2 stops.
A train in the UK costs £25. That's
Jesus.
50 Australian dollars.
Why?
Because that's how expensive England is. That's
Jesus
London for you.
Christ.
Yeah, that's why when Pat came to visit, we didn't end up doing anything. Because every time we wanted to go see a show, you're paying like 200, 300 Australian dollars per ticket for a show.
Yeah.
And then you're paying an extra 50 Australian dollars each just to get the train in.
Yeah,
Granted, we were
that
going across multiple
sucks.
zones, so I don't think the tickets are as expensive if you're already in London and using the tube. But it also doesn't, and if you buy a prepaid ticket, it's not so bad, but I don't think it caps if you're using your card. It just keeps charging you. It's pretty bad.
Horrible.
Our next question is, how much of Australia have you seen? What city are you in? And if you're in a city, have you seen much of rural Australia? So we're in Melbourne.
I haven't seen any.
No, well, look, I've been to a couple of places. I've been to Ballarat.
Yeah.
I've been to Horsham. I've been to Bendigo. Now, they're all considered rural, regional.
What about Geelong?
Geelong doesn't count, I don't think, as rural.
Oh, okay, then no.
Pat has family in Bendigo, so we've been there quite a few times, and I love it up there. It's so fun. And they have an amazing Easter festival. I hope I get to go to that this year.
What about Mornington?
Oh, I suppose that would count as rural,
Yeah, then I have been.
but I don't know if it actually does or not.
I had no idea.
I have no idea.
Cool.
But yeah, I've been down there a bunch too. I've been to Sydney and I've been to Queensland.
Same. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. We live in Melbourne, so we're in the northern suburbs, so we don't see much, and we both work all the time and study, so we don't get much chance to go travelling, but I would love to go on a road trip at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Maybe
do the
a
Great Ocean
podcast.
Road. That'd be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done it. And my friend did it, and she loved it. So I would like to do that one day.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thank you for listening this week.
That was so abrupt. Thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. We're very grateful.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We have had a wonderful time this week. This has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Talking about the lockdowns. I'm very excited to talk more about Australian slang next week.
So funny.
Because I have a lot to say.
Okay.
But that will be coming out on April the 4th. So please do join us next week and make sure you're following us on our social media pages. We would love to see you there. Send us comments, questions. We want to hear from you. If you are someone that has moved abroad and you are Australian, or you are a non-Australian and you've moved to Australia, we would love to hear from you and get your opinions and just chat. So please do reach out to us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.